oldest pig in the United States. It's over 400 years it's been in America.
Coming up at noon, we join Architectural Digest West Coast editor Mayor Russ with Then Air Masterclass Studio for a discussion on navigating the world of contemporary art.
The Spanish conquistadors left these animals on this island.
Thank you. Does anybody else want a Bellini?
That is vintage grass.
You're listening to the UnCommonCore podcast with your host Thomas Howell.
Hi, I'm Ray and I'm with Preeti today.
I'm Preeti Varathan. I'm here with the UnCommonCore podcast. We're at the Architectural Digest Design Show.
Located at the Pier 94 in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. It is the second day of the show, and apparently a lot of designers who are here presenting their collections have been coming here as many as 9 years. It really isn't a bad way to spend a rainy Saturday afternoon.
By AHT Global, and is that the stereo system or is that the wall? That's the wall.
The wall, yes.
Oh, right.
So it's a video artwork. So it's live video artwork from a variety of artists, and basically we're using this as art, and it can be sold individually, or you can buy it as a package with the art included with the screen.
And is it, this might be a silly question, but is it synced to anything, or is it just kind of like constantly flowing? I mean, synced to the music or anything like that, like they do?
No, the music and the video are independent. They just seem like they're in sync, but they're two independent systems. But it could be in sync if someone chose, but this particular one is two individual systems.
And you order the screen first, and then you order the artwork later, and can you like update the artwork?
Yes, the artwork is actually licensed artwork from licensed artists, and it's a subscription service. It's customized depending on what your needs are. So you could buy one image, video, and you can have an ongoing subscription where it can change monthly. It's a very new concept.
Yeah, it's great. They do that all online?
It's from a server, so it's all server-based. Everything's downloaded to a local hard drive because it's such high-resolution files. So it plays from a local player, so there's no compression, it's full resolution.
So you just go online, you order what you want, or you call, or something like that?
Correct.
And what are so are there different, I noticed you have two different sizes. Are there two sizes, or are there several different sizes?
Well, there's an 84-inch turned vertically, which is a standard 84-inch screen, and then the other one here is custom, called Direct View LED. It's tiles that you piece together and you can build any size. It could be 100 feet wide and 100 feet tall. It could be like a Manhattan billboard out in Times Square.
Right. So, but it's just the artwork. You can't pipe in anything else, right?
No, you can pipe. It could be a television as well, but television requires a certain format, so it needs to be a certain shape for TV. But other than that, it is a video screen.
Right. Okay, yeah. Look, and what prices are we talking about for if someone wanted to install this in their home? They look great, by the way.
The screens start at $10,000, and you know the direct view is about $100,000. It's very expensive. That's an outdoor rated product for sunlight. And the artwork ranges based on the artist, and just like artwork, it's based on the success of the artist, the value increases.
Right. Well, it's pretty interesting. Where do you go next with this? Is there anything you have on the horizon that's coming out that's new that you could tell us about?
Well, they're talking about packaging art with a screen and selling it as a piece of artwork, as a standalone piece that's a one-off piece that you own that's now digital. So just like buying a piece of art and hanging in your home, you can buy a digital piece of art, and with the screen it includes the licensing, and you own that piece of art.
Oh, okay. And like you're the only one that would own it?
That's the future. That's the future of this, yes.
So it would have a encrypted or something like that.
Exactly. So an artist, it's like a signed piece that's your piece, but it's digital as opposed to being on a canvas.
So there's famous artists that are creating these that are becoming well known.
Absolutely. There was a time when people didn't paint, and they started painting. This is the new art. This is what today's young people are doing. They're developing digital art, and there's some really amazing people doing this type of artwork.
Yeah, so it sounds like an exciting new field too for someone to get into. So is there a website, or if they want to get some information, where do they go? What's the website?
We have a product over here. I have to get you the website. I think it's NIIC. It's a The company, the gentleman is right here. He's our representative, and that's actually the artwork. He actually represents that as an individual product. But we're working on combining them together as a package because that's really what the industry is looking for.
Right. Okay, great. But it's AHT Global, so they could just do a search for that, and I'll look it up and I'll put it on the blog portion of the thing.
Correct.
Make sure that somebody could get hold of it, and I'll get a card from you. But that sounds great. It's like an exciting new company. Where are you? What's your name?
My name is Ryan White. I'm from the Philadelphia office with AHT. We have 5 offices in New York, Miami, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia. And, we do this show every year. We're big with the architectural and design community. And we just show off very new and innovative products in the technology sector.
And one more quick question. AHT, what is that? Is that an American company? Is it a foreign?
It's an American company. We do global work. Originally, we were Advanced Home Theater 25 years ago, and we've grown into a larger global company that does full electronics and integration globally, and we've become AHT Global.
Right. Who's your big clients? Is it Americans or is it overseas, Europe or?
Both. I mean, we do a lot of billionaire clients. We do a lot of yachts. We do large yachts out of Miami. So we have a lot of clients that have 4, 5, 6 homes in different cities in Europe. And we sell them Crestron and control systems and customized shading and lighting to integrate all of their systems into an app and all of their homes controllable from any location.
Okay, great. Well, hey, thanks for talking to me. Thanks for spending the time. It looks like a great and exciting product. A whole new field, too.
Yeah.
Great.
If you wanted to get some more information on the art, there's a tall gentleman here. He is much more.
Play and control these works on any device, and then there is a catalog which is made up of thousands of very high quality works from the top artists, galleries, institutions, which can either be individual works can actually be rented or actually bought. Price points of high quality works, entrance points at anything from around $2,500 to $10,000 for a limited edition, then $20,000 to around $75,000. High end, like the type of works from artists like Bill Viola, for example, or Michal Rovner, can be anything from $100,000 to $1 million. So those are for loaning and buying. We also have a model where you can actually subscribe to curated collections. So we'll have curators from around the world who will put together collections of around 10 to 12 artworks, which every 3 months will change on different themes, and people can subscribe to those coming in from around about $650 a month. And so they're kind of rotating art exhibitions.
Hi, I was just going to ask you, first, where the name of the website, but the artists that are creating these, where are they coming from? Are they painters? Are they computer people? Are they engineers?
So we are certainly entering from the high-end traditional art world. So you have some artists who work across different mediums. So you have some artists who will do paintings and sculptures and will do video works. You have some artists who have been specializing in the digital medium. To put it into context, video art has been around from the 60s and 70s. It's been very much embraced and appreciated. So if you go to the Venice Biennale, if you go to the look at the Turner Prize winners, you go to the major institutions, the Whitney and the MoMA, some of the more later media artworks have established themselves in recent years more so as the tools to create these works are more accessible. So you're talking about works which are using all types of digital technology. So it can be video works, it can be animated GIFs, it can be virtual reality artworks, it can be artworks which are essentially websites. This artist here does a lot of data artworks, which means that they're actually real-time artworks that are taking data to do with a particular subject and then showing that visually. So actually the artwork is always living, it's always changing. So this is not, this is artists across that spread. We focus on primarily represented artists from mainstream galleries from around the world.
I do know, going into the museums, there's usually a room and it either has video monitors or it's got a wall. This is a video wall, and that's been going on for years, like 30, 40 years. There have been artists doing those kinds of things, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, what we've seen is that, as I said, it's very much been appreciated, but there have been challenges for traditional art collectors to collect more of these works, either because of technology challenges. It's been inaccessible, it's been hard for them, and it's been too fragmented. I need to find the work and find a screen and find a way to play it, and we make that as simple as a click of a button. The other thing has been a lack of standards on things like preservation. How do you preserve a digital artwork so that it's available as formats are changing in the future? And that's part of our infrastructure, offering digital preservation, which maintains the value of these works.
And they have to lock it if they're going to buy an individual artwork, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're buying an artwork, ultimately you need to ensure that as technology adapts and changes, that work can be updated or can be playable. Especially, there was one stage when things were analog and they were on videotapes, and then Blu-ray and DVD. Now things are usually starting from digital, but still, on our platform, the artists are actually depositing their master files. These are like hundreds of gig size files, uncompressed, which can then be reformatted as new formats come out. That's been an important part of our infrastructure.
One more quick question. I was just thinking, a lot of those artists, like Brian Eno and people like that, they came in from the music. Is music connected to, or sound connected to these in any way?
Yeah, I think, artists are creative souls, and they don't want to be limited either by format or by the experience. So of course you have some artists who are creating works who have no sound. You have some artists who have work that sound is an integral part of it. Okay. The idea of mixing it together is questionable. Again, one of the things which is important for us was that we want to enable the medium. So we want to give artists an infrastructure where they can expose their works and feel confident their works are being played in the right context and exactly as per their request. So an artist can say this work must be played on a particular size, screen and resolution, and our infrastructure enables the player to determine what screen it's on and not to play the work if it's not played as the artist.
Accommodating the artist.
Absolutely. And that's why the artists, especially the high-end artists, are trusting us to put their works, because they understand that we're maintaining the integrity of their works, and we're not mixing them with low-end creators.
Right. It's not going to be becoming kitschy. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's when I'm looking at it, especially up close, it's very hypnotic. I mean, it's just it's amazing. You really get lost in it.
I think, listen, as with every artwork, usually it's driven by the meaning. The objective is, an artist is trying to communicate a message. He's trying to reflect the time. He's trying to maybe disturb you or emotionally connect with you. If it's aesthetically beautiful, then some people like that, some people don't. Some traditional collectors will say it's not about the aesthetics at all. But you're right, some of these, especially when we live in a digital world, in the digital era, when you have an immersive type of experience, we're spending so much time consuming digital content in a browser. The idea of taking something out and giving you an immersive experience outside of the browser and on the wall can certainly be an immersive experience, a very reflective, meditative experience, and that's something we want.
Yeah, people have to really see it, I think, in person, because it's not just moving images on a wall. I mean, this with all of the loud images we see every day. I mean, we're everywhere, especially like Times Square, everything's competing for our attention. And so this really does stand out as being different. I mean, it really does suck you in, and you can tell it's different, significant quality. It's just, it's kind of pretty amazing, actually. I mean, that's quite a thing in these days, I think,
From our perspective, our vision, we believe that our walls are going to become digital canvases. We think that people are going to go into their homes and in future of design, rather than designing a feature wall, is this going to be raw brick, is this going to be wallpaper? People will define digital canvases, which give them an environment which can change. It's immersive, it can change, based on how I feel. You're going to walk into your home and Alexa, change my walls for me. And so it's going to be part of this connected environment, and it's going to become a canvas. Our walls will become canvases.
Okay, yeah, maybe they'll connect with our mood or little electronics on our body.
There are already digital artworks which are specifically taking data to do with your personal neurological state of mind, and that represents, so you become your own artwork.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get lost in it. The idea of being artworks becoming participatory, either because they're interactive or they're feeding data, and all of a sudden, it takes us to a whole new place. And
right, it's a whole new world. I could see it going dark, or it could go good.
What some people would say, in the crazy world we live in today, the opportunity to kind of take us out of it and give us a deeper alternative experience is exactly what we need. So that's what we're trying to enable.
Yeah, well, I think you've accomplished something unique here, and I think it's going to be great. I mean, it's obviously it's art. So
it's art, and the name of the platform and the brand which people will start to know is Neo, Nio, Neo.com.
Nio, 2 I's.
2 I's.
Okay.
If you think about it, you've had all the different major art scenes, which are Neo this, Neo that. Some people talk about Neo from the Matrix. The two eyes in the O is pause and stop, 1 and 0 from digital. And for us, there's a movement which is growing, and we want to be the people who are enabling that. So with a platform that's bringing all the entities together, the artists, the galleries, the institutions, the collectors, and enabling these to then be accessed in the white cube environments, but also beyond commercial environments. Neo is being established now in certain types of hospitality environments and healthcare environments, in the lobbies of public spaces and buildings.
Yeah, one more quick question. If somebody wanted to see this, do you have a gallery or a specific place that they could go to that's like the best place to see this work?
So there are a number, on the one side, there's a lot of art events which have been powered by Neo. So last week in New York, there was Art Week, and we were at the NADA Fair. There was the Moving Images Art Fair, which was all powered by Neo. There are a number of experiential centers being established around Europe and the US now, which are being putting Neo in.
Yeah, because the trade show doesn't really do it justice. When I'm next to it, I can really appreciate it, but you really need a dedicated space, right? So that's what you have in those places.
Ultimately, what we're doing, we call them Neo spots. We're actually building out people who are plugging into Neo and then want to kind of publish themselves on the map. There's a number of galleries. There's around 70 galleries who are using Neo now to display the works in their gallery and when they go to art events. And I think right now what we're going to be doing is a lot of work on educating. So we're going to be exposing ourselves in public environments where people can experience this. Like you say, we're seeing is believing. So
right. Yeah, you have to see it in person. It's amazing. Hey, thanks a lot for talking with me. It's amazing. I think this is going to be great. It's already amazing. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, bye-bye.
So do you mind telling me a little bit about your brand, who you are, and what you're doing at this design show?
Yeah. Our business is Borealis Studios, and it's my husband is a glassblower, and I'm a potter, and so together we are one business, which is Borealis Studios, and we have sculptural vessels, and we also have utilitarian vessels, and we also have sculpture. So we both sort of have three bodies of work that come together, and the home design show is perfect because all three of those things fit into your home decor, and so it's a good fit.
So my fellow reporter Ray was really interested in the origins of your name, Borealis. Where's that from?
Well, Borealis means northern, and we are in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. We're about a half an hour south of Canada, so we thought it was a beautiful word, and it sort of defined our location.
Tell me a little bit about these colors. They're very sort of modern and chic but soothing. I'm seeing like blues, browns, yellows.
Well, that is my husband's work, so I could only, I'll be speaking for him, but this beautiful mixture of warm and cool colors coming together and reacting against each other and layering. The glass is translucent, and it can mix, the colors actually mix when one is in front of the other, and then it's pulled together with this dark aubergine, which sort of is it's not opaque, but it's close to opaque, and so I think it's this great push and pull of space of deep and shallow and cool and warm.
And I know you're speaking on his behalf, but why these sort of very thin, vertical, long, flute-like objects?
They're just elegant and really beautiful. Yeah, he calls them Chiantis. So they're like a wine bottle form, but just exaggerated into this really long, elegant, beautiful shape.
Well, I'm fascinated by, what would you call that, what's carrying the flowers?
I call them arc vases. So they're vases, they're shallow, essentially like a long rectangle that is curved in an arc, and so it helps it stand. And if you piece several together, it can sort of be like a zigzag snake across your table. And you can either overlap them, or you can put them together to be a circle, or they can be a long curving line. And I think of them as like a line in a drawing. And so that's why I've glazed them all black, because in my mind it's like a pencil drawing down a white table.
What gave you that idea? It's really unique. I haven't seen that.
Well, it's sort of, I was looking at Richard Serra's sculptures, but I know this is nowhere near that work, but I was just sort of trying to reference sculptures in the vases. I feel like a vase is a place where you can essentially make a little sculpture with a hole in it and it will hold flowers, and then it's this beautiful object by itself. And by doing this shape that's so long, it creates the line of flowers as well. But it did sort of start from thinking about these big minimal steel panels that are beautifully curved.
No, I'm seeing a lot of use of negative space. There's a lot of beautiful texture in space within spaces in your work. I love it. I think it's really beautiful. I'm really curious, what's it like working with your partner and running that business together?
Well, you have to really like your partner, and
well, one would hope otherwise, but okay.
Exactly. We actually work very well together. We communicate really well together, and we have a similar aesthetic. We have similar taste, which is huge. So we can really help each other. If I'm stuck on a piece, I can just talk to him and he can come in and he can see where I'm headed and he can give me ideas also, and vice versa. And you can see things that carry through on our two bodies of work that we sort of come to at the same time, just because we're talking about form so much, we're talking about color so much, and it's really helpful to have another team player that you're on the same team. You can help each other. Even though we're in different studios, we're not in the same room all day long, but we can definitely step in and help each other, and it's a second set of eyes to see what you're doing.
Were you both makers before you met?
Yes, we were both living down at a craft school called Penland School of Crafts in North Carolina, and we had some common friends who fixed us up.
That's cute. I love it. Where can people find your work on the internet?
At www.borealisstudios.com, and that is the main place online. I work with some retailers and some galleries, but my website is probably the best place.
If you're not already on Instagram, I gotta say your stuff is visually stunning. You should be on Instagram.
You're right. We are on Instagram. It's Borealis_Studios. Borealis_Studios.
That's your handle.
Yeah. I don't use Instagram very much. That's my husband's jurisdiction.
I'm 23. I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
It's my job to ask.
Yeah.
So.
No. Thank you for asking, because I wouldn't have thought of it.
Do you mind telling our listeners your name and spelling it out, just so they know who you are?
Yeah, it's Gerilyn Virden, Jerilyn Virden.
All right. Well, thank you. I was just talking to Gerilyn Virden from Borealis, and it was a pleasure.
Interesting
So
that they
thank
might
you.
not be able to find in their hometown. So what's the name of your company?
The name of the company is Native Trails. We focus on artisan crafted, sustainably sourced products. We make products all over the world, and it's where we find these craft cultures sort of just juxtaposed to the raw material.
So you have these bowls, which are nickel and copper, and you also have the entire tubs that are made out of nickel and copper, old style tubs. And what else do you have over here? Am I missing? Is this also yours, or is that another?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's made out of stone.
That is actually
a stone
made out
tub.
It's a concrete formulation that we brought to the market. We brand it as Native Stone, and what it is, it's a combination between concrete and jute fiber. And what the jute does, it takes about 40% of the weight out of the product, but actually gives it better structural integrity because the jute runs throughout and provides bonding and support throughout the body of the tub. The copper, you referred to the metal, the hammered metal basins. They actually are all copper. So,
okay.
And what we'll do is put a nickel finish over some of them as sort of a additional ornamentation.
They look familiar. Are these based on like antique or old designs, or are these completely new? Are they the original, or are they based on something?
They're our designs, but they're very classic.
Yeah, they look like they're something. Look like I've seen it before.
Yeah, some people asked if they were fruit bowls. They've got a very distinct look to them. But it's a very classic design done in a very classic way. The way our artisans make the product, it's a multi-generational, usually a family business that father to son over several generations. And the copper is 100% recycled, It's melted down, purified, pressed into sheets, and then our artisans form it, and then they'll hammer them. A basin like this will get about 30,000 hammer strikes. The tub that you looked at gets about 300,000 hammer strikes.
Yeah, the tubs are amazing.
Yeah, so in a very real way, they're all one-of-a-kind works of art for the house, for the home.
I mean, this might be a little bit silly, but no one makes, I remember because my mom used to have those old tubs that are oval and flat on the bottom, you know what I mean? They're small, and people used to put flowers in them, or they used to use them for water and all kinds of different things, and no one makes those anymore either, right?
Well,
you know what I'm talking about?
I do. We make something like it, but it's not quite. It used to be the old wash basins.
Yeah, wash basin, that's what I'm talking about.
This
yeah.
slipper tub is sort of a variation of that, except it's
a little bigger.
Right, 5 and 6 foot and 23 inches deep, so it's a good soaking tub, but it does have that look that you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those old wash basins and all that old stuff is kind of classic.
Right.
But this is, yeah, it's got a modern look to it. Mm-hmm. And does this stuff wear out? I mean, or is it just you have to maintain it? I mean, is this difficult to maintain these tubs?
So most of the copper maintenance is soap and water. On our polished copper, which is an unsealed copper, you can either polish it every 3 or 4 weeks. We also sell a sealer called Metal Protect that'll keep it shiny and bright for about 1.5 years. Okay. Very easy to reapply after that. The other finishes, the nickel finishes, are actually extremely easy to maintain. They never change because
so that's an advantage of the nickel finish then.
It is, yeah. Providing you like the aesthetic. Yep. But it's a chemical bond between the copper and the finished material, and it's a lifetime bond.
Where are you located? Where's your company? Where's your headquarters?
Our headquarters, we're headquartered in San Luis Obispo, California.
Oh yeah, I know that.
We have our distribution center and our design team located out of there.
Wine country.
Wine country, yes, but actually small wine country.
Yeah,
it's not maybe what Napa was 30 years ago.
Got Napa there.
Yep.
It's like the shadow.
I actually prefer that. It's a little less crazy, but we typically ship within 3 days of receipt of order. Even though our product's handmade, we actually have it made to forecast rather than made to order, so everything is inventoried and ready to be shipped.
Okay, so and the website? The website is?
The website is www.nativetrails.net. There's great product information. There's inspiration shots for people looking for design ideas, product videos, product specifications. So it's really a terrific interactive site for people looking for a sustainably sourced artisan crafted product.
www.nativetrails.net. Just real quick, one last quick question. In San Luis Obispo, do you have a showroom there, or is that just your office?
We do. We have a showroom, a corporate showroom there, and people are invited to come up and have a look. Yeah,
it's a nice drive. I'd recommend going to San Luis Obispo. I know it's a nice San Luis Obispo, Morro Bay, that whole area around there. It's very nice.
Yeah, really nice, and
right along, they could go right off of Highway 1, actually, between Los Angeles and San Francisco.
Highway 1, Highway 101, and it's almost exactly in between LA and San Francisco, about 4 hours drive from each.
Right. Sounds great. Hey, thanks a lot for talking to me.
You.
Okay, thanks.
About your brand. Sure. So, do you mind telling me who you are, what you are showcasing today, and the name of your brand?
Sure. I'm Natalie Blake, and I represent Natalie Blake Studios. I am a ceramic artist. I've been working in porcelain clay primarily for 27 years. And I started out as a lowly potter making functional mugs and bowls after college. Was kind of addicted to clay. Decided to become a ceramics major in school in Kenyon College in Ohio, even though they had no ceramics program. It was just my love. So I started with the functional work and slowly moved into vessels, making high-end decorative vessels for the home, and I did that for about 10 years. Had a full-on business with a couple of employees, and then started hearing a lot of designers. I was working with designers at that point, and I started hearing a lot of designers talk about pieces for the wall, and I had been interested in sculptural work for a long time, so I kind of, as I call it, unwrapped my vessels and put them on the wall.
Can you describe for our listeners what your pieces look like?
Sure. So I work primarily in porcelain clay, and I discovered a wonderful technique called sgraffito, which in Italian means to scratch. So it's kind of like scratch board where you I carve through a black layer of clay down to the white clay underneath, the white porcelain underneath. So I've revealed a design by carving away the negative space of black and revealing the white porcelain. I can color the porcelain by layering a glaze, and the glaze goes over the black clay and the white porcelain and colors the white porcelain, and it's transparent so you can see the black design. So I now have a black design with a colored background. So on my website, which is natalieblakestudios.com, there's a whole plethora of beautiful images of work that I've done in the past that have some variation of colors, a lot of botanical designs, and natural representation of the world. We've kind of gotten into carving the tree. I have a couple of employees in the studio that help me make the work, and we started out with the tree of life, and that's been a really popular theme and a popular piece. So I have lots of iterations of the beautiful tree of life, and we've done a lot of natural scenes since then. My roots were really a sculptor, and my interest is really in texture. So lately I've been bringing texture back into my work. I had put it in my vessels for quite a number of years. So I've brought that back in, and I'm carving deeply into the porcelain now. So no more, I'm still doing work with that layered series with the sgraffito technique, but now I'm doing a lot of pieces where it's just thick slabs of clay, and I'm carving deep into the clay and making beautiful texture. Really interested in shadow and light, how the natural light or incandescent light would hit my piece of artwork and create a lot of depth. One of the things that stands out about my tile work, so I'm mostly making tiles, is that it's sculptural, three-dimensional. It undulates, so it has a lot of movement and three-dimensionality in the room.
Why? So I'm imagining there are many different kinds of way you can present this like beautiful clay and porcelain art on the wall. Why tiles?
Well, it's, at that point I had been working, had a business for about 15 years, and I was starting to work with a lot of designers, and I saw that specifically for them, they had so many needs for wall art that wasn't only a piece of art, but also could be a functional piece like a backsplash or in a shower or perhaps in an outdoor installation. And so my co-designer in my studio, Cynthia Parker Houghton, and I kind of came up with this idea of making tiles that could be put together to make a larger design. In other words, kind of like large format tile mosaics. And then also they could be used individually. They could also be hung on a diagonal or a diamond or kind of shaped to fit a unique space or a challenging space perhaps. And designers immediately picked up on this concept and really loved it. They loved that it didn't protrude into the space, it wasn't fragile, it was very durable. So since then I've done a lot of outdoor public art with large format tiles that I make up to 22 inches square. And the public can come up and touch the work and engage with the work, and it's not a stay back, I'm a piece of art, come and engage with the work. So we really liked it for that reason.
And have people enjoyed that tactile experience?
Yes. It's one of the big features of the work. One of the selling points is like, it's okay, there's no little beep, beep, beep line that's going to go off if you cross the line. You can come up and really engage.
So you've been, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay, yeah.
No, you've been in this business for a while. Like, what are the major, both the positive and the negative, what are the major challenges of starting and running your own business and then maintaining and watching it evolve from, vessels to now these beautiful tile installations? And what's the exciting bits, the hard and the good?
Yeah, well, one of the things that's both exciting and challenging is being a good, I guess I would call it a good listener, but it's really your whole person tuning in to what's happening in the marketplace, what's happening perhaps in the psyche of yourself and your customers and your clients. What is the latest trend, and keeping one step ahead of that, because if you don't keep one step ahead, you might have a few years where you're lagging behind. You're not coming up with the most updated, the next most interesting way, dynamic way to change your work so that it fits with what people are hoping for and desiring. So it's that challenge of always tuning in and listening into how design is changing and being in the forefront, and balancing that with what you want as an artist and what you desire to make, and finding the time and space to really open yourself as a creative being to be able to allow your creativity to come, I always call it from the ground up, rather than from the head down. Because if you're trying to create from your head, always thinking about what the market what the market wants, then it's not true creativity. So that's it's both super exciting and super challenging to balance those two things.
This is something I've always wanted to ask an artist. Where do trends come from?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Where do trends come from?
How do you figure out
I guess it feels like it's the 100th monkey syndrome. You know about that story, the 100th monkey syndrome, and honestly, I'm not totally sure this is an actual fact. I heard this so long ago, but it resonates. It makes sense that they did a study in the Marshall Islands. This is what I heard. Where they taught a monkey how to wash a potato on one island, and then monkeys on an island 100 miles away started washing the potato in the same way. So the idea was that there was some kind of telepathic energy happening between a species. And I guess that's what it feels like to me, is that telepathically we're actually all communicating with each other on some vibrational level, since we are all water and energy anyway. We're really not matter at all. So we're telling each other things all the time, and maybe it's in color or texture or feeling or vibration, or who knows, maybe now we're all talking about installation work, or maybe we're talking about the fine object. And we influence each other telepathically, as well as, certainly in this day and age, we've got social media, which is our modern day telepathy to share with each other what we're interested in.
And where can our listeners find you on the internet?
They can find me at www.natalieblakestudios.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Natalie. Take care.
Thanks.
Natalie's tiles are beautiful, often blue or green architectural clay pieces that feature natural scenes. So one of her installations that I'm looking at has these sort of beautiful pockets of plants, but the background is clearly a lake with fish and flowers and different kinds of plantation and algae. She's really, really inspired by, I think, this sort of botanical environmental approach. And so she creates these installations that look like essential, like natural works of art. They're really beautiful. Do you have any thoughts, Ray?
Yeah, I really love this. This one you were describing. It's tiles. The base color is the really, really light, washed out blue. From a distance, I think these tiles feature water lilies and fish. It just feels like when the tiles are all pieced together, it feels like you're really looking at the water, and it almost feel like the wave is like going up and down, and you can see it's really lively. There's really a depth to it. You can see it coming out. Yeah,
absolutely. I completely agree.
Here is a Thanksgiving dinner from nowhere. I mean, it's from like nowhere that you've ever seen before, because there's an actual stuffed turkey on there, which is, this turkey is actual turkey, and then you have decorated with, what are the plants? What is basically, how would you describe what you have here?
Kind of giving you the concept going from a home straight to the kitchen. So your living quarters, eating quarters, straight to the appliances, which are here by Viking, of course.
Okay, so yeah, it's the display with the chicken the turkey that attracted everybody, and you don't even notice that you've got a very slick. It almost looks like a high-end audio system, actually.
Part of Viking's new contemporary line. You got their steam oven, you got their electric oven, and you have their new induction.
Now, why are you guys over here and not over in the other pier?
More for the design community here, so it's separated out. This is more specifically for design. That's why you'll see a lot of other things than appliances or this kind of niche thing. So again, if you look around, this is more of the whole design integrity flowing into one thing. Just different approach, as opposed to laying out a whole bunch of wall of appliances. This is more of a design flow. Yeah, well, it looks great. I mean, the countertop for the oven is nothing like I've seen over there exactly. It reminds me of an old B&O audio system. You know, slide controls. Yeah, you have slide controls and it's a heat induction, right? Yes. Now, some people like to cook under the flame, and they're a little apprehensive about getting this kind of a setup. Do you have something to compensate for that? Well, sure. There's gas cooktops as well as electric that'll show the flame, but induction's very efficient. All the energy goes to the cooking surface, so you're not getting any ancillary heat into the air. It doesn't heat up the house as much, and 98% of the energy you're expending goes into the pot. So it cooks faster, it cooks more efficiently, you use less electricity to use it. I think people want that visceral, I need to see the flame thing, so there is some of that going on. Right. But for a cooking, there's nothing more efficient than induction.
Right, and they get used to it, I guess, right? You get used to how it's done. And what about the, what do you have down here, the ovens?
Electronic touch controls, again, much more contemporary and European styling. Clock, and you pick your mode and what you want, and you can go from there. But it's a good oven, slide racks, again, touch control, and this comes in addition to the stainless trim here in all black glass as well. So again, that kind of sleek, more European styling, which is contrary to what Viking normally has. So this is an additional line to add to their restaurant in the home type of approach.
Right, so it's all, this is stainless steel, but it comes in glass.
All glass, all black glass as well.
And this is all black, and does this come in a different color?
No, this is just the way it is.
Okay, and you have, I'm sorry.
Steam oven.
Oh, a steam oven.
Yeah, so this is a steam oven that works on 110 volt. So not only can you steam and use convection oven as well, and the rack comes out, so you can do anything in this except a big bird. But you can do anything else in there. The racks will come out, but this works on 110 volt, which means you don't need a special line just for the steam oven as well.
Right.
So it's all
but they come together. You have to get them. You have to get the whole package.
Nope.
Oh, you could get them.
Yep.
You could get them separate.
All separate. I mean, we're showing the line complete, but basically you can buy what you want to buy. If you don't want the steam oven and just the regular oven and cooktop, that's fine. If you just want the cooktop, you've got an existing oven, that's fine.
And over here you have the refrigerator.
Yeah, built-in refrigerator, completely flush. If you look over here and you'll see the hinge, you watch what happens when we open the door, how that comes straight out. See that?
Oh, the door, yeah, it comes out about 3 inches, the whole door.
There's no change at all. And again, you've got very nice lighting here, spill-proof shelves, soft close crisper drawers, blue zone, which takes out not only bacteria and mold, which some other filters do, but also ethylene gas, which is what rots your vegetables and your food. If you go to the supermarket, they'll give you this green bag to put your stuff in so it preserves it more. You don't need that with the Blue Zone. That takes all of that out. And Viking is the only refrigerator with that. That's commercial technology. It actually was developed by the military to preserve food on Navy ships.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, and you have your display at the very top of the refrigerator. A little bit high, though. I mean...
because the compressor's on the bottom. That raises everything up. If we make also refrigerators with compressors.
What if they can't reach it, though? I mean, I guess some Asian cooks are going to have some trouble.
I don't know about Asian. I've got a 5-foot wife. She'll have trouble with it too. But it's you put what's important lower, and you put what's less important higher.
You get your stuff
up. Again, it's one or the other. We make compressors on the top, which lowers everything.
Right.
But you cannot hide it so it looks like a cabinet. You can use instead of a stainless door, a cabinet type door that completely hides that.
Right.
You can't do that if you have a grill on the top. It doesn't. You can't cover the grill.
And I noticed the lighting is really good. A lot of the refrigerators, many of the other ones, make sure that there's plenty of light all the way from the back of the refrigerator. The whole thing lights up, which is really nice.
You've got a double freezer drawer here with the ice maker on the top, so you don't have to bend down too low to get it. It's nice and attractive here with a little handle in the bucket as well, so it's nice and convenient to get that out. And these are separated. You can remove these if you want a bigger.
A movable shelves, yeah.
Yep, and same on the bottom. The bottom, no ice maker, obviously. You don't need two, but these shelves move around so you can have a bigger space or even split it up.
And is there temperature? Do you know the temperature and everything?
The temperature is on the right.
Everything is in there.
The refrigerator temperature is up top on the left.
All right. Well, that's great. It looks really nice. Thanks for telling us about it. And if somebody wanted to look into these, you have a website which is
VikingRange.com.
VikingRange.com.
You can also go to,
of course, ajmadison.com. We are the Appliance Authority.
And that's here in New York, right? You're out of New York.
13th Avenue in Brooklyn, New York.
And are you throughout the whole country? You have people actually listening all over.
Viking is all over.
Yeah. It's an international. Where's it made? Where's it crafted?
Greenwood, Mississippi.
Okay, so this is an American company as well.
Yep, absolutely. Owned by Middleby, who's based out of Chicago. So Middleby is a commercial company, and their products are in about 30% of all the restaurants in the world. So it's a very, if you're in the restaurant business, you know their brands, you know, Turbo Chef and Blodgett Ovens and Jade Range, that kind of thing. So it's a company that owns Viking, and they're also based out of the Midwest. So you got Midwest and Southeast. And
it's manufactured here as well?
Oh, sure. Greenwood, Mississippi.
Wow, okay, that's pretty nice. Yeah, and Viking is the name. I mean, it's a good easy name, very strong name. Yeah. Okay, well, hey, thanks a lot for talking to me. Thanks for the card, and I'll check out the website.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks for being here today.
You've been listening to the Uncommon Core podcast with Thomas Howell. I'm Satoko Smith. Thank you for listening.